Welcome back to Carson Takes On with themorningnews.com. Now, in today's segment, and I just want to jump right into it because this is a subject I actually am very interested in. In today's segment, I am going to be talking essentially about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin mayhem that has taken place over the past few months, because believe me, it has. Now, I was actually lucky enough. I pulled out. Now, Full disclosure, I had no idea it was going to drop like it did. But I just pulled out because, I wanted some money in my bank account. I wanted that money I had invested in Bitcoin into my bank account. And long story short, if you don't know what happened with Bitcoin, the shares went down. They plummeted, they dropped, whatever you want to call it. They went straight down to the bottom, to the floor. They absolutely flatlined, at least from a standard of someone who has money invested in those. Now, a lot of people, a lot of notable Bitcoin investors have kept their money in it because they believe it is going to go back up eventually. And I personally believe that to be the case too, but all that aside, it has been a rough few months with Bitcoin. I mean, you have Elon Musk, who's probably at fault for most of this Bitcoin problem. You have him, first of all, claim that he's going to accept Bitcoin payments for his Tesla, and then you have him roll that back and say he's not going to accept Bitcoin payments for his Tesla because of the energy problem which it would create. Now, irregardless of what you think of the energy problem, that did seem a bit, weird, because all of a sudden, he's not accepting a payment on something which a lot of people plan to pay with, a lot of people plan to use to actually buy their own little electric car. Now, if you've seen Tesla, you know why people wanted to buy a Tesla. They're pretty nice. Having said that though, Musk actually recently, he said that he would once again start accepting Bitcoin for Tesla, which is a bit interesting. It's, he's getting back into the market of Bitcoin payments for Tesla. Now, when he said that, he was on Twitter and he essentially told Cointelegraph, which is an account on Twitter, he told them basically that he would be accepting Bitcoin payments for Tesla after a certain renewable energy essentially target had been reached, or after a certain clean energy target had been reached. So once these Bitcoin miners had gotten to around, I think it was 50% of their, mining existed from clean energy, Musk would actually start allowing Bitcoin payments back into Tesla. Now, why is this a big deal? Why is this interesting? Well, I'll tell you why it's interesting. First off, it's interesting because we can finally put all that Bitcoin we bought to good use. I mean, if you got Bitcoin and you want a Tesla, well, it's lining back up. You can do it again. Second off, though, and I would say more importantly, is because I think this is going to signal an upward trend for Bitcoin. Now, it's not clear, I'm not a professional investor, so take that with a grain of salt. I'm just the guy who rants about these topics. But it is worth noting that it could definitely signal a potential uptick in the Bitcoin shares, in all of that. Reason being is because last time he said he wasn't going to accept it, it definitely signaled a downtick. It signaled a, oh no, this is bad for Bitcoin. So odds are, if you flip the basically results, we could potentially see an uptick. Now, obviously, this isn't a guarantee. And honestly, I don't know if I want to buy into Bitcoin yet. Personally, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I'm saying to myself, well, it could be good, but I don't know. I don't know about investing. Now, I do know on crypto, and I see it as a common lot, is a lot of people will be worried about the volatility of crypto. They say crypto itself is very volatile. Well, the thing is, it's actually extremely not. The volatile part is when it's treated more as an investment and less as a currency, which unfortunately it currently still is. So we have things, because it is treated like an investment, because crypto is viewed as something you can invest in, as more of like stocks and shares than actually a money, than actually a currency. Because, even though it has begun to be, I guess you could say accepted as a form of currency, but it's still heavily used by people who purely want to invest in it and then want to pull out at a later date. The thing is, crypto, because it's a currency, it's hard to do that. It is going to fluctuate if you view it as an investment, because then you're going to take your money out and you're going to put it back in, etc., etc., etc. Now, the thing is, though, right, and this is my whole theory behind the thing, is I personally think that if it was accepted as a currency and not really as more of an investment, an investment thing, it would actually be incredibly, stable in terms of that. Because, if you think about it, there's really no, what's the word for it? There's no, expansion of it. You can't, the scarcity remains the same. So you're not going to be having to worry about anyone printing Bitcoin, because your Bitcoin is already been printed. There ain't any more of it. So that is a nice thing about Bitcoin. But it does still remain to be seen if it's going to actually, remain as a legitimate currency or not. We don't know. No one knows. But if you are, interested in that, do let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think about Bitcoin. Where do you think its future is going? Because I do want to hear. And moving on, one final, note of worth for Bitcoin for me is I've been looking at all the multiple cryptos, and I've been realizing there are a lot of cryptos. There are actually a ton of them. Now, are they all going to be used sometime in the future? Probably not, but quite a few of them will, and I was actually looking at one recently, which is, called Pi, another crypto called Pi, and honestly, it's really nice because you can mine it from your phone, and it doesn't take up any resources. So this is like the, whole clean energy project, which Musk was looking for, is a crypto where it mines from your phone and it takes like literally zero energy. So that's pretty nice. That could potentially put Bitcoin down in the dumps, is if a crypto like that, which actually lets you, mine it at pretty much zero cost to the environment, came into play. Maybe that would, solve all these issues we're having with crypto being potentially or reportedly bad for the environment. So, that is something which I really find interesting. But just on a recap note, just to, recap this whole thing, the past few months for crypto has been a mess. It hasn't been the best. It's been getting down there. It's been, down in the dumps, as one could say. But I'm an optimist. I think it's going to upturn for the better. Now, obviously, I have no idea of that, actually. I'm just trying to be optimist here, glass half full, that kind of thing. But it is interesting, it is worth noting, because Musk has, started saying that he is going to accept crypto, back into his Tesla payments, back into, so if you want to buy a car with crypto, you can actually do that with your Bitcoin, and you can actually pay for your entire Tesla with Bitcoin, which will be kind of neat. It'll be kind of fun, because I feel like Bitcoin hasn't taken over the market as much as it has the potential to as of yet, and if it does take over the market more, who knows, maybe eventually Musk will be able to use crypto, to pay for his balding problems. That's a potential as well. But that is going to do it for today's, segment. I'm gonna wrap up here because I think this has been a fairly, successful segment, and we've delved into all the depths of the crypto mayhem in the past few months. Now, if you do enjoy my videos, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so every time I upload, you are notified. Every time, I get a new segment posted, you can come back and you can watch me and you can visit my segment. Also, of course, just a heads up that we actually do have 5-minute news recaps that we post as well. So if you want to check those news recaps out, go ahead and go check those out because those are great. I honestly recommend them highly. And that is going to do it though. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next segment.